here, I'm going to take you through my thought process when trying to play around hand traps using Synchrons. Bonfire to search for Poplar, which will summon itself. No response to Simple Spoils, so they probably don't have Max C or Ash Blossom, but they are lighting up when we have a monster on the field, so it's most likely either Veiler or an Imperm. We'll use Sakatama to go into Garden Rose Maiden to bait their hand trap. Make sure to activate Jet's effect on Chainlink 1 to add the level 4 Junk Servant, then Chain Block with Garden Rose Maiden's effect on Chainlink 2, and we got him, an Effect Veiler. Now we can use Revolution Synchron in hand to go into Accel Synchro Stardust Dragon, and this will bait any other interruptions they might have. No response. Activate Accel's effect to show off that Fire Alt Art Stardust Dragon, and to go into an unaffected Junk Speeder, which will win the game. What's good, YouTube? I'm Duelist Nickel, and after a little summer break, I am back with more Adventure Synchron content for you guys. This month I decided to stick the full Snake Eyes package back into the deck because the speeder lines off of 2 level 1s, it's just too good to leave out. It can steal you games a lot of the times, so yeah, we're running it. Anyways, I have a bunch of replays to show you guys from my climb to Master 1 during Season 32. But first, let's take a quick look at that deck list and talk about some of the engines that we're running and why. So here's that deck list. 1 copy of each of the Snake Eyes cards for the 1 card line off Bonfire or Ash that gives you a Baronne protected speeder that includes the TG cards in that combo. Assault at 3 copies because it is the best extender and a free face-up card that you can use with original Simple Spoils. Stardust at 3 because it can also special summon itself, and it pairs well with the level 1 Snake Eyes monsters for extra speeder lines. 2 copies each for the other tuners is good. Junk Servant gives you a level 4 at any time if you can access Accel using Jet Synchron's search effect. You will mostly use this when you don't have access to the Adventure engine, which is your most consistent way to get into speeder, giving you a level 7 to go into Accel and a level 4 for speeder. The best way to go into speeder is by using Accel's effect because it makes it unaffected, which guarantees that speeder resolves. It is also really good at playing around interruption because it forces an Imperm or a Veiler, and it can respond to Nibiru. So it's truly the key card of the deck. Souls is a great tech because you will very often have extra face-up spells in this deck from Poplar, Adventure, Kashtira, TG, and the draw 2 can come in really clutch in Deckout attempts. It can be your best summon off of 1-for-1 sometimes if you already use some of the Snake Eyes stuff. Sakatama is optional but gives you a free level 4, and this deck loves having multiple level 4s for synchro climbing. The Kashtira cards are optional as well, but they are great board breaking cards for the deck because they force interruptions from your opponent, and they also have great synergy with the deck because they give you free level 7 bodies to go into Accel. Diabellstar and Wanted are going to be your best single card starters for the deck besides Bonfire because they practically get you to speeder by themselves if uninterrupted. For that you also need a discard and an extra face-up card on the field. Triple Tactics are key for going second. You can search for talents to steal a problem monster or search for right to go into adventure plays or Bonfire or Overtake. to get a free tuner. Synchro Rumble is searched off Crimson Dragon and is a great extender and key card for playing through Nibiru. And Red Reboot is insurance against Imperm when going first, but this is optional. TG Hyper Librarian, Garden Rose Maiden, Black Garden, Thrust, and Card Destruction are all key cards for the Deckout win condition against Maxi. For the extra deck, almost all 15 of the monsters are core to the main combo. We've got that new alternate art for the Stardust Dragon there. Gotta show that one off. Crystal Wing is the possible flex spot if you are looking for one, but it is such a great card, so I would recommend keeping it. TG Mighty Striker is needed for the Snake Eyes speeder lines. Charge Warrior gives you a draw and token. Ravenous Croc is often a great backup plan if you can't get level 4 on the board, and can usually climb into a Baronne for you at least. Jet Warrior is needed so that you can run Synchro Overtake. Omega, Trishula, and Dissipator give you a triple hand rip. Alright, so that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions about the deck list, drop a comment below and let me know, and I will try to answer them. And with that being said, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Let's get back into the gameplay. You're always going to want to activate your Kashtira cards first to try and bait any interruptions. Diabellstar is going to get us all the way to speeder now that we have an extra face-up card. Activate Original Sinful Spoils to summon Jet from the deck, and then we can get into Accel. We'll activate Jet on Chainlink 1 to search for Junk Servant since we have no other level 4s, and then we can chain block with Accel's effect to resummon Jet on Chainlink 2. Except we are going to get hit with Nibiru, so we'll have to pivot. We can respond with Accel's effect to go into an unaffected Ravenous Croc. This will give us a draw, plus we'll get the free level 11 token from Nib. And then we're going to draw into Card Destruction, which we can use to discard Flame Burge to get into some Snake Eyes shenanigans. Then we'll go into Crimson Dragon with the token to search for Synchro Rumble, and then we can use its effect to target the level 9 Ravenous Croc to go into Trishula and hand rip our opponent. We'll leave the Nib in case they drew into an Imperm. We can always pop it later. Now we can use Synchro Rumble for a tuner with the level 4 token from right to set us up for Junk Speeder, but that's going to be the game. Okay, so I showed you a few hands going first through hand traps. Now let's get into some board breaking. We are going second against the latest meta contender, Yubel. And we didn't open Maxi, so this is going to be an uninterrupted board from them. But we've got a good hand, so we'll see what we can do. We're looking at about 5 interruptions here. Do you think we can play through? Ah yes, the classic top deck Maxi on turn 2. Everyone's favorite. Start out with right to get our adventure engine going. No response, so we'll summon souls to try and go for the draw. But they're going to link it off. So I guess it's a good thing we've got that Maxi now. will use Little Knight to clear our token, but we can still search for Griffin Rider, and we'll even be able to summon it with our empty board. And Triple Tactics is live, so we can go for the draw 2. Now we can special summon Assault and go for Ravenous Croc for more draws and to pressure their board. We can respond to their trap to pop their Little Knight and force its effect. Called by will stop their Phantom of Yubel. And after the dust settles, we can make some plays. Thrust will search for Bonfire, and then we can get into the Snake Eyes Speeder line. Search for Poplar and summon itself. Add Sinful Spoils. Activate to summon Jet from the deck. And then we can get into TG Mighty Striker. Search for TG All Clear. And then pop the Striker to add Rush Rhino from the deck. Now we can use Synchro Overtake to resummon Jet from the graveyard, and then we'll go into Junk Speeder. Chain block the Speeder with Jet, and we can add Junk Servant since we are short on non-tuner bodies. Special summon Junk Servant while Speeder is still on the field. Then go into Crystal Wing for a live negate on the board, and from here, it's smooth sailing. This time we are going first, and it looks like we've got a pretty good hand, Adventure Engine, and access to a tuner. Let's go. Except we are going to get hit with Ash Blossom, so that means no Griffin Rider protection, and no level 7 to go into Accel. We're just going to go for it and hope they're not holding 2 hand traps. Activate Speeder on Chain Link 1, and then activate Jet's effect on Chain Link 2 to chain block in case they're holding a Gamma. Alright, Speeder resolves. We're cooking, but they're gonna drop the rock on us, so we'll activate Max C for the draw 2 here, and we'll still get our search for Illumination. Now we can pitch Stardust Trail to the graveyard, and then normal summon Junk Converter, then tribute it with Stardust Synchron, which will also bring back Trail, and we can finally get into Accel. Which will trigger Trail to summon a level 1 token and bring back Jet from the graveyard. Next we'll go into the best extender off Nibiru in the deck, Crimson Dragon. An easy summon with the free level 11 token. Next search Synchro Rumble, and extend by special summoning Assault, and then we can use Accel to climb into Baronne to floor. Assault will trigger in the graveyard to bring back Accel. And then I could have done this earlier, but I didn't really have a use for the level 1 token, so we'll use Synchro Rumble to bring back Stardust Synchron, and then go into TG Hyper Librarian to create some more card advantage. Now we can bring back Rev and use Illumination to change Accel's level to 7 so that we can go into Framelord Omega. And then we would have gone into Bestial Despater too for the double hand rip, but that's game. This replay is another board-breaking example, and once again we are up against an uninterrupted Yubel player. But we've got Thrust and Rite of Erismir, so maybe we can do it. We just need to draw into access for a tuner. Okay, Foolish Burial, that might work. We'll start out with Rite of Erismir so that we can summon our token and pressure their board. And they are going to stop us from setting up the Griffin Rider Negate here. But now our Triple Tactics Thrust is live. First we'll use our Draco back to spin their face down, and then we can Thrust. Except we are going to get hit with Ash Blossom, so we're down to just dumping Jet Synchron to the graveyard. And then we can use Synchro Rumble to bring it back. And then we're just gonna go for Speeder and see what happens. Chain block the Speeder with Jet on Chain Link 2 and just hope that it goes through. And it will resolve, except they are going to wipe our board. But now we've got access to the tuners. Normal summon Servant and go into Charge Warrior for a draw. And nice, just what we needed. Summon Diabellstar and now we're cooking. Let's get into some Snake Eyes plays. We can use Flamebirds to push their Loving Defender to the back row. Then we can use our Stardust Synchron in the graveyard to send Flamebirds and trigger its effect to summon 2 from the grave, and that'll do it. I've got another replay here that's a great example of anticipating your opponent and playing through their hand traps. First, we'll activate Enchantress to try and bait any possible Ash Blossom, and they don't light up for response. Next, activate Rite to summon our token, and still no response, so no Max C either. Now we can get our Griffin Rider on the board to insulate our plays, and suddenly they are lighting up for response, so it's probably an imperm or maybe an effect failure. Use original simple spoils to summon Jet from the deck, and then we can go into Accel, which should draw out their hand trap. Alright, it's an imperm, we can push through this. Activate Jet in the graveyard to bring itself back, and then we should be good to go for Speeder. But actually, they're lighting up again for response. Could it be another imperm? Plan B, Ravenous Croc for another draw. And there it is, the second imperm. We can still push through. Normal summon Rev, and then we can go into Crimson Dragon to search for Synchro Rumble. Then we can bring back Rev as a level 1 tuner, and Synchro into Junk Speeder. Alright, so if you follow the channel, you know I've got to include at least one Max C challenge in here. Always start with your Kashtira cards to draw interruptions, and then we are going to get ashed on the original simple spoils. But we can still use Overtake with Fenrir to go into Accel, and here's where we're going to get hit with the Max C. Challenge accepted. And of course they're going to draw into an imperm. We can still use Jet's effect to bring itself back and summon Sakatama for Speeder, and just hope they don't have another hand trap. Speeder resolves, game on. I'm sure you know the combo at this point, but if you're looking for a video to help you with your synchro climbing while trying to deck your opponent out, check out my ANTI-MAXX Deckout guide. Crystal Wing gives us some protection, then we'll go into Charge Warrior for the draw and token. Royal Red Reboot is a great draw. Now we're protected against imperm. Let's get into TG Hyper Librarian to facilitate draws. We need to find card destruction. Thrust works too. We will summon on their field to make it live, but first we need to get some more negates on the board while we fill their hand with cards. Tribute Accel to bring back Stardust Synchron, and to trigger Trail to summon itself, and Assault to bring back Accel. Use Accel's effect to draw 2 off Librarian, and to go into Crimson Dragon to extend the combo. I don't think so. Reboot. Finally, we'll get into Garden Rose Maiden to search for Black Garden, which will allow us to summon tokens to their field, making our Triple Tactics Thrust live. Now I can go into Baronne, and then I'll be able to use Garden Rose Maiden to bring back Crystal Way. But now I've left myself exposed, and they see their opportunity to pounce. double droll? We have to negate this. And there's the rock. They think they've got us right where they want. We'll respond with Crimson Dragon to get to Dispater so that we can bring it back with the Maiden. Now we've got a live negate on the board, so we can use Thrust to search for card destruction, and then activate to win the game.